Imagine a jungle, thick with humidity and the symphony of unseen life. The air is heavy, a green canopy blotting out the sun. Through this labyrinth, two figures move, each a master of their own domain, on an inevitable collision course. This isn't just any jungle. It's a crucible, a stage for a legendary what-if. What happens when the dragon, Bruce Lee, the epitome of martial discipline and philosophy, meets the ghost, John Rambo, the ultimate survivor and master of guerrilla warfare? This is the story of Bruce Lee meets Rambo, discipline versus survival. Let's set the scene. Bruce Lee, perhaps on a spiritual retreat or scouting a film location, finds himself deep in the wilderness. He moves with a dancer's grace, every step deliberate. His senses are honed, not just for danger, but for the rhythm of nature. He is a philosopher warrior, his mind as sharp as his fists. For him, the jungle is a dojo, a place to test his mantra, "Be water, my friend." He adapts, he flows, but his core is unshakable discipline, forged in countless hours of training. Then there's Rambo. He isn't visiting the jungle. He is the jungle. He's a product of its harshest realities, a man pushed to the edge and forced to become a part of the wild to survive. His movements are primal, efficient, born not of philosophy but of brutal necessity. Every rustle of a leaf, every snap of a twig is a piece of information. His discipline is not of the dojo but of the battlefield. It's the discipline of survival at all costs, of using the environment itself as a weapon. Their first encounter wouldn't be a clash of fists, but a clash of presences. Rambo, camouflaged and still, would likely see Lee first. He'd observe this strange man moving with such controlled, almost artistic precision. He would be wary. Who is this man who walks through danger as if it were a garden? Is he a threat, an illusion? Rambo's mind is a tactical map of threats and escape routes. Lee, in turn, would feel Rambo's presence before he saw him, not as a man, but as a disruption in the jungle's natural flow, a predator's stillness. He would stop, his body coiling like a spring, his senses reaching out. His Jeet Kune Do philosophy kicks in. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, add what is uniquely your own. He would analyze this unseen presence, understanding its nature not through fear, but through profound awareness. When they finally meet face to face, the air would crackle, not with aggression, but with mutual professional respect. Rambo would see a man with no visible weapons, yet whose entire body is a weapon, a man of impossible speed and focus. Lee would see a man whose eyes hold the story of 100 battles. A warrior who has bled and endured, whose weapon is the very ground they stand on. Let's imagine a scenario that forces them to interact. Perhaps they are both being hunted by a common enemy, a ruthless militia group cutting through the jungle. This is where their styles would truly be tested, not against each other, but alongside each other. The militia attacks, a brute force of numbers and firepower. Rambo immediately melts into the undergrowth. His strategy is hit and run, using traps, diversions, and the element of surprise. He'd set up a simple but lethal snare using vines, misdirect the enemy patrol with a thrown rock, and then strike from the shadows with brutal efficiency. He fights smart, conserving energy, making every move count towards one goal: elimination and survival. Bruce Lee's approach would be different. When confronted, he wouldn't hide. He would become the eye of the storm. He'd use the terrain, yes, but in a different way. A narrow ravine becomes a perfect choke point. He'd use the attacker's momentum against them, deflecting a rifle butt and countering with a lightning-fast sidekick. His movements are a blur, intercepting attacks before they can even fully form. He is not hiding from the fight. He is controlling it, ending it with surgical precision and overwhelming speed. It's the art of fighting without fighting. Imagine the two observing each other's methods. Rambo would be astonished by Lee's economy of motion, his ability to neutralize multiple opponents in seconds with his bare hands. He would see a different kind of survival, the survival of the supremely skilled, a discipline so profound it borders on supernatural. Lee would watch Rambo's work with equal fascination. He'd see the genius in Rambo's improvised traps, his deep, instinctual understanding of the environment. He would recognize it as another form of being like water, using the jungle's own tools, its own flow, to defeat the enemy. Rambo's actions are the ultimate expression of adaptability, a core tenet of Lee's own philosophy, just manifested in a grittier, more primal form. Their collaboration would be a thing of deadly beauty. Rambo would set the stage, using his knowledge of the terrain to funnel the enemy into a predetermined kill zone. He'd create chaos and confusion, picking off stragglers from the periphery. Then, into that chaos, steps the dragon. Bruce Lee becomes the decisive force, engaging the main group in a whirlwind of motion. His famous one-inch punch and flying kicks becoming the stuff of jungle legend for the few who would survive to tell the tale. Rambo is the master of the environment. Lee is the master of the self. Rambo survives by becoming the predator. Lee prevails by achieving a state where the concept of predator and prey becomes irrelevant. After the dust settles, what would they say to each other? There might not be many words, a nod of respect, a shared understanding. Rambo might offer Lee a piece of cooked snake, a practical gesture of survival. Lee might show Rambo a specific breathing technique to calm the mind after battle, a philosophical gesture of inner peace. In this encounter, we see that discipline and survival are not opposites. They are two sides of the same coin. Rambo's survival instinct is a form of discipline, honed by trauma and experience. Bruce Lee's discipline is the ultimate survival tool, allowing him to master himself and therefore any situation he finds himself in. So, who wins in a fight between Bruce Lee and Rambo? The question itself is flawed. In the jungle, they wouldn't fight each other. They would recognize the master in the other. They would learn from each other. Rambo would learn about the power of inner stillness, and Lee would gain a deeper appreciation for the raw, untamed application of his philosophies in the harshest classroom on earth. The real winner is the idea that greatness takes many forms. Whether it's forged in the fire of 1,000 practice sessions or the crucible of a life or death struggle, mastery is mastery. The dragon and the ghost, walking away in the misty jungle. Leave us with a powerful lesson. True strength isn't just about how you fight, but about what you've endured to become who you are. Thanks for journeying with us into this epic thought experiment. What do you think would happen? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this legendary mashup, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.